Stop everything you are doing right now. I need you to hear me, not later, not after you finish what's in your hand, right now, this second, because what I am about to say to you cannot wait. And the fact that you are watching this video at this exact moment is not an accident. It is not a coincidence. It is not random. You were brought here. I brought you here. And I need you to understand that before another second passes. Something has happened in the heavens. The throne room moved. The angels shifted. A decision was made. And that decision has your name on it. I'm speaking to you through this message because there are things happening around you right now that your natural eyes cannot see. There are forces in motion that began before you woke up this morning. There are doors being positioned, chains being cut, and walls being built around everything that belongs to you. And I could not let another moment go by without making sure you heard it directly from me. Let me ask you something. Have you been feeling like something is wrong, but you cannot explain exactly what it is? Like a weight that follows you from room to room, from morning to night, that no amount of sleep seems to lift? Have you been waking up at strange hours, heart racing, mind flooded with worries about your finances, your family, your health, your future? Wondering if things are ever going to turn around? Have you been praying and praying and praying and beginning to wonder, deep in a place you don't tell anyone about, whether I am actually listening? I am listening. I have always been listening. And today, right now, I am answering. The reason I am calling this an emergency is not to frighten you. I am calling it an emergency because the enemy knows something that you don't yet know. He knows what I have been preparing for you. He knows the size of the blessing that is about to reach your hands. He has seen the assignment I placed on your life before you were born, and he has been working overtime, to distract you, exhaust you, discourage you, and make you give up just before the breakthrough arrives. But here is what the enemy did not calculate. He did not calculate that I would speak. He did not calculate that I would send this message directly to you at this hour through this video to make sure you did not miss what is yours. So I need you to stay. Every second of this message carries something heaven prepared for you. Every chapter of what you are about to hear was written with your situation in mind. The breakthrough, the miracle, the protection, the provision, the turning point. It is all here, and it is all for you. Before we go any further, I want you to do something for me. Type in the comments right now, I receive this message. Let the angels mark that declaration. Let heaven record that you showed up today, because your showing up matters more than you know. Now, let's begin. My dear daughter, I need you to understand the weight of what I am saying when I tell you the heavens have stopped, not slowed, not paused, stopped. There are moments in eternity, rare moments, when the activity of heaven shifts entirely, when the angels who never cease their worship go still, when the winds that move between worlds hold their breath, when the seraphim, those great and terrible beings of fire and light who cry holy without ceasing, grow quiet, not because something wrong has happened, but because something so right, so precise, so perfectly timed is about to occur that even they lean in to watch. This is one of those moments, and it is happening because of you. I know that is hard to believe. I know that when you look at your life, when you look at the pile of bills on the kitchen counter, when you sit in the silence of your car before going into work, when you lie awake next to your spouse or lie awake alone and feel the full weight of everything that is still unresolved, I know that it is hard to believe that heaven is holding its breath for you, because the enemy has spent a very long time making you feel small, making you feel forgotten, making you feel like you are one of the millions, not one of the chosen. But I am here to dismantle that lie right now. Let me tell you what I see when I look at you. I see someone who kept going when they had every reason to stop. I see someone who still dropped to their knees in prayer even when the answers seemed far away. I see someone who still drove their children to church, still held onto a Bible with dog-eared pages and highlighted verses, still whispered, "My name" in the dark, when they were too tired to form a full prayer. I see someone who has been carrying things privately, things they haven't told their family, things they haven't admitted to their friends, fears and doubts and heartaches that they have quietly laid at my feet because there was nowhere else to go. That person is not forgotten. That person is exactly the person I move for. I want you to understand something about the way I work. I do not always move when things are comfortable. I do not always show up when the circumstances look favorable. I show up in the 11th hour. I show up when the oil is almost gone. I show up when the water is about to run out in the wilderness. I show up at the edge of the Red Sea when the army is behind you and the water is in front of you and there is absolutely nowhere to go. By human calculation, that edge you are standing on right now, that is my favorite place to move. The heavens have stopped because I am about to do something that defies what the enemy expected. He thought he had you. He thought the pressure he had been applying to your finances, to your relationships, to your health, to your peace of mind, would eventually crush you into surrender. He thought that if he kept the attack consistent enough and long enough, you would eventually put down your faith and pick up defeat. But look at you. You are still here. You are still watching. You are still seeking my face. And because of that, because you have not let go, I have not let go either. I want you to place your hand over your heart right now. Literally, put your hand right there on your chest and feel that heartbeat. That beat is not just biology. That beat is my breath in you. That beat is my promise that I am not done with your story. Every single beat is a declaration from heaven that what I started in your life I intend to finish, and finish in a way that will leave both you and everyone around you absolutely speechless. The heavens have stopped because a big miracle is being prepared, not a small adjustment, not a minor improvement. A big miracle. The kind that makes you call your sister or your mother or your best friend and say, "You are not going to believe what God just did." The kind that silences every voice that told you it was too late, too hard, too broken, too far gone. The kind that doesn't just fix the problem, it exceeds everything you dared to ask for. And it is already in motion. It started moving before you pressed play on this video. I need you to receive this right now. Declare it out loud. Put your hand on your heart and say, "Lord, I believe you are moving for me. I receive my miracle. The heavens are open over my life." Say it like you mean it. Say it because you mean it. And as those words leave your mouth, know that angels are marking this moment in your story. Because chapter 1 is just the beginning. And what comes next will shake you to your core. Type in the comments, "The heavens are open over my life." My dear son, I want to tell you about a conversation that took place before you opened your eyes this morning. In the halls of heaven, before the light had touched your part of the earth, before the alarm had gone off, before the first cup of coffee was poured, I gave an order. And when I give orders in heaven, they do not get delayed. They do not get stuck in traffic. They do not require paperwork or approval or favorable conditions. They move immediately, with full authority, with unstoppable force. The order I gave this morning had your name on it, and the one I sent was not a minor messenger. I did not send a simple heavenly attendant. I sent Michael. You need to understand who Michael is, because the enemy understands it very well. Michael is not just a name. Michael is not a decorative figure on a piece of jewelry or a painting in a church. Michael is the Archangel of war. He is the commander of the armies of heaven. He is the one who stood against the Prince of Persia when the answer to Daniel's prayer was being withheld. He is the one who fights in the heavenly realm with a ferocity and a power that makes darkness itself tremble. When I dispatch Michael, it is not because the situation is minor. It is because the enemy has overstepped, and the time for his interference in your life is over. Michael's orders this morning were specific. They were not general, they were not vague. They had your address on them, your street, your house, your apartment, the physical place where you lay your head, where your children sleep, where you cook your meals and pay your bills and fight your battles in private. Michael knows where you live, not because heaven is watching you with suspicion, but because heaven is watching over you with intention. Right now, as you watch this video, Michael is standing in position. If you could see with spiritual eyes, and one day you will see clearly, but for now let me show you, you would see a figure of blazing light, robed in the authority of the Almighty, standing at the threshold of your home. His sword is not sheathed. His eyes are scanning the perimeter, every assignment the enemy had sent against your household, the spirit of division that had been working on your relationships, the spirit of lack that had been hovering over your finances, the spirit of infirmity that had been targeting the health of someone you love. Michael is confronting every single one of them, and they are losing. I need you to hear that clearly. They are losing. Past tense is not even accurate. It is present tense, active, ongoing. Every dark assignment against your family, every setback the enemy orchestrated, every door that was mysteriously closing in your face. Michael is in the process of dismantling it all, right now, as these words reach your ears. But here is something I want you to understand about warfare. Michael fights, but you have a role too. Your declarations are weapons. Your words of faith are not just emotional expressions. They are spiritual ammunition that cooperates with the work of heaven. When you open your mouth and declare my promises, you are not talking to yourself. You are releasing something into the atmosphere that gives Michael's assignment momentum. You are cooperating with heaven's operation on your behalf. So right now, I need you to raise your voice. Say this out loud. Say it with everything in you. I declare that every assignment of the enemy against my home is destroyed right now. Michael is fighting for me. Angels surround me. I am covered by the blood of Jesus. My household belongs to God. That declaration just landed in the spirit realm like thunder. I want to tell you something else about Michael's orders. They include not just your protection, but your breakthrough. He was not sent only to push back the darkness. He was sent to open the path. There is a blessing that has been blocked. There is a door that should have opened months ago that the enemy has been leaning against. There is a provision, a promotion, a restoration, a healing, something that has your name on it that has been delayed by spiritual interference. Michael's orders are to clear that path, and the path is being cleared right now. I know what you have been waiting for. I know the prayer request that has been in your heart for so long that you have almost stopped speaking it out loud. I know about the situation that keeps you up at night. I know the name of the person you have been praying for. I know the number that keeps you anxious when you look at your bank account. I know the diagnosis that was given, or the fear of a diagnosis that hasn't come yet. I know what you are carrying, and I want you to know that it is not too heavy for Michael's mission. The Archangel has been dispatched. Your address is on the orders, and the orders come directly from me. Type in the comments. Michael is fighting for my household, my dear daughter. I need to explain something to you that is going to make everything that has been happening in your life suddenly make sense. Have you ever noticed that the hardest attacks always seem to come right before the biggest breakthroughs? Have you noticed that the most intense periods of pressure in your life, the seasons that felt unbearable, the stretches of time where everything seemed to go wrong at once, always seemed to precede something remarkable? That is not coincidence. That is not bad luck piling up. That is the enemy's blueprint, and once you understand it, you will never look at a difficult season the same way again. The enemy does not attack randomly. He attacks strategically, and his strategy always follows the same principle. Intercept the blessing before the person receives it. Think about it this way. If I'm preparing to release something extraordinary into your life, and I am, the enemy's greatest priority is to stop you from reaching the moment of reception. He cannot stop me. He has no power over my plans. He cannot revoke what I have decided. But what he can do is try to discourage you into walking away before the miracle arrives. He can try to exhaust you until you are too tired to believe. He can try to confuse you until you lose sight of your destiny. He can try to isolate you until you feel too alone to press forward, and the intensity of his attack tells you exactly how significant what I'm about to give you is. Think about that. The bigger the blessing, the harder the attack, the greater the breakthrough, the fiercer the resistance. If the enemy has been hitting you from multiple directions lately, your finances under pressure, your relationship strained, your health concerning you, your peace of mind disrupted, your sleep disturbed, that is not a sign that you are losing. That is a sign that you are about to receive something so significant that the enemy is in a panic. A panicking enemy attacks wildly. A desperate enemy attacks everything at once. Does that sound familiar? I thought it might. Here is what the enemy saw that sent him into that panic. He saw the blueprint of your life, the one I wrote before you were born, the one that has your name at the top and my signature at the bottom. He saw the provision I have allocated for your future. He saw the open door that is about to swing in your direction. He saw the relationships that are about to be restored, the finances that are about to shift, the healing that is in transit. He saw it, and knowing that he could not stop it from my end, he has been working furiously on your end, trying to talk you out of it. He has been whispering to you, in the exhaustion of a hard week, when everything felt pointless. That was him. In the moment you almost decided to stop praying because it seemed like nothing was changing. That was him. In the voice that said you were too far behind, too broken, too damaged, too old, too young, too much of a failure for something beautiful to still be possible. That was him. Every whisper of hopelessness, every suggestion of defeat, every moment of maybe this is just my life. That was the enemy, desperately trying to get you to quit 5 minutes before the miracle, but you didn't quit. You are here. And I want you to know that every attack the enemy has thrown at you has not weakened your position with me. It has only accumulated evidence for the testimony I am building in your life. Every hard thing you pushed through, every prayer you prayed in tears, every time you chose to trust me even when you couldn't see the way, every Sunday morning you got your family in the car when it would have been easier to stay home, every time you tithed when you didn't know how the numbers would work, every act of faith, no matter how small it looked to you, was seen by me, recorded by heaven, and is now being prepared for reward. The attack came because of what is coming. And what is coming is worth every hard thing you have been through. I want you to take a moment right now and think about the biggest thing you are believing me for. The thing that feels almost too big to say out loud. The miracle that has been in your heart so long, you are almost afraid to hope for it. I want you to bring that thing to the surface of your mind right now. Now hear me say this directly to you. That thing is not too big. I'm not overwhelmed by your need. I'm not inconvenienced by the size of what you are asking. I am God. The size of the miracle is not the obstacle. The only question has ever been the timing, and the timing is now. Place your hand over your chest and declare this right now. The enemy attacked me because my blessing is coming. I will not quit. I will not back down. I will receive everything God has prepared for me. The attack ends today. The breakthrough begins now. Say it again. Let it sink into your spirit. Let it rearrange the atmosphere around you. Because the next chapter is going to show you exactly who is standing at the door of your situation, and it is going to change how you see the next season of your life forever. Type in the comments, I will not quit. My breakthrough is now, my dear son. I have been at this door for a while, not the door of your home, though I am there too. I am talking about the door of your situation, the door of the thing that has had you locked in, the door of the impossible circumstance, the door that everyone, including, sometimes, you, has said cannot be opened, that door. I have been standing at it, and I want you to know something about me and doors. I don't knock politely and walk away. I don't try the handle once and move on to the next house. I am the one who said, I am the door. I am the one who holds the key of David, and when I open a door, no man, no devil, no circumstance, no amount of debt or damage or delay can shut it. And when I shut a door, every door the enemy has been trying to force open into your life, no one and nothing can pry it back open. Right now, I am standing at the door of your situation, and I am about to knock it off its hinges. Let me tell you what I see from where I'm standing. I see a situation that has felt closed for too long. Maybe it is a financial door, a breakthrough in income, a debt that needs to be cancelled, a provision that should have come but kept getting delayed. Maybe it is a relational door, a marriage that has been strained, a prodigal child who has been away from both home and faith, a reconciliation that you have prayed for until your voice was raw. Maybe it is a health door, a diagnosis that has been weighing on you or someone you love, a body that has not been cooperating, a healing that has been contended for in prayer month after month. Whatever that door is, I see it, I am at it, and I am not leaving without opening it. I want to tell you something about the nature of my presence at your door. When I show up at the door of a situation, the atmosphere changes. The angels who have been assigned to guard that door come to attention. The demonic forces that have been leaning against it from the other side begin to feel the pressure of my proximity. Because I do not come empty-handed. I come with authority. I come with the full weight of heaven behind me. I come with the answer, not a partial answer, not a temporary fix, but the complete, lasting, total answer to what you have been asking. I know what you have been through in that waiting room. I know what it has cost you to keep believing while the situation stayed the same. I know the conversations you have had with yourself in the shower, the car, the quiet moments when the kids were asleep and you were alone with your thoughts and your doubts. I know how many times you have said, Lord, I just need a sign that you haven't forgotten about this. I know how many times you have looked at the same situation and felt the same discouragement wash over you like a wave. But I need you to look at that situation differently today. Because what you have been interpreting as a locked door, I have been using as a preparation room. Every day that door appeared shut, I was doing something on the other side of it. I was arranging, I was positioning, I was removing obstacles you didn't even know were there. I was changing the hearts of people whose decisions would affect your outcome. I was building the foundation of what you are about to walk into so that when it arrives, it will not crumble. The delay was not denial. The silence was not absence. The stillness was not the end of the story. It was the preparation. And the preparation is complete. I want you to think about what happened in John chapter 11. Lazarus was dead, 4 days in the tomb, not 1, not 2, 4. By that point, by every human calculation, by every reasonable assessment of the situation, it was over. Martha said it herself, Lord, by this time he stinketh. The situation had gone past uncomfortable. It had gone past difficult. It had gone all the way to impossible, and that is when I showed up, because I specialize in what is past the point of human solution. I move best in situations that have run out of natural options. I am most glorified when the experts have given up, when the numbers don't work, when the doctors have said there is nothing more to do, when the relationship is so broken that counseling hasn't helped, when the debt is so deep that the budget cannot touch it. That is my territory. That is where I do my finest work. And your situation, the very one that has felt the most hopeless, the most impossible, the most like a tomb, is about to become your greatest testimony. I am standing at that door right now. And I am saying to you what I said to the stone in front of Lazarus's tomb: roll it away. Roll away the stone of doubt. Roll away the stone of it's too late. Roll away the stone of I've already prayed about this and nothing happened. Roll it away, because what is coming out of that tomb is not going to be what went in. What went in was a problem. What is coming out is a miracle. Say this out loud right now, with authority and with faith. Jesus is standing at the door of my situation. He is opening what no man can close. My miracle is on the other side of this door. I receive it now in the name of Jesus. Feel that shift in your spirit. That is not emotion. That is the reality of heaven responding to faith. Type in the comments, Jesus is opening my door right now, my dear daughter. There are moments in time that heaven calls windows, not metaphors, not spiritual poetry. Actual windows, openings in the flow of time where the distance between earth and heaven grows thin, where the prayers of my children move with unusual speed, where the decrees of faith land with extraordinary power, where what would normally take months of patient waiting can happen in a matter of moments. You are in one of those windows right now, and I called it 2 minutes because I needed to get your attention. But the truth is even more urgent than a countdown. This window is not measured by a clock on your wall. It is measured by your willingness to receive. The moment you fully open your heart and say yes to what I'm releasing, that is the moment the window activates for your life. And right now, in this chapter, in this moment, that window is fully open over you. Let me tell you what is moving through that window. First, a financial shift. I know that money has been a source of anxiety for you. I know the weight of watching numbers that don't add up, of having needs that exceed what your income can cover, of feeling the embarrassment or the fear that comes with financial pressure in a culture that measures value by what a person owns. I want to speak directly to that right now. I am releasing a financial shift into your life through this window. Not alone. Not a temporary solution that creates a new problem. A shift, a structural change in the flow of provision over your household. It may come through a promotion you were not expecting. It may come through a door of income that you haven't seen yet. It may come through a debt that is suddenly and supernaturally relieved. It may come through a gift from a source that surprises you. I don't need you to figure out the method. I only need you to receive the miracle. The method is my department. Second, a healing. Someone watching this video right now is carrying a health concern that has not left their mind in weeks. Maybe it is your own body, something that has been giving you trouble, something a doctor said that has been living in the back of your mind and coloring everything else with a shadow of fear. Maybe it is someone you love, a parent, a spouse, a child, whose condition you have been praying over and losing sleep about. I am releasing healing through this window. I am the Lord who heals. That is not just a title I carry, it is my nature. Healing is what I do because I am life itself. And where life is fully present, death and disease cannot remain. The same power that raised Jesus from the dead is alive in you through the Holy Spirit. And that power does not sit still when the body needs restoration. It moves, it works, it heals. Receive this right now. Put your hand on whatever part of your body concerns you, or if it is for someone else, hold your hand out toward them, even if they are not in the room, and declare, by the stripes of Jesus, healing is released right now. This body belongs to God. Sickness has no authority here. I receive complete restoration in the name of Jesus. Third, a restoration of peace. There is a kind of exhaustion that is not physical. It is the exhaustion that comes from carrying worry for too long. The fatigue that comes from living in a state of low-grade anxiety, always waiting for the next problem, always bracing for the next impact, always managing the background noise of fear that follows you from morning to night. Through this window, I am releasing peace. My peace. Not the kind of peace the world offers. not the temporary calm that comes from a good day or a positive bank statement or a doctor's clearance. I am releasing the peace that surpasses understanding. The peace that holds steady when the circumstances are still uncertain. The peace that says it is well before the outcome is visible. That peace belongs to you. It was purchased for you at the cross, and I am releasing it into your life right now with full force. Breathe in right now. Literally breathe in deeply. And as you exhale, say, I receive the peace of God that passes all understanding. My mind is calm. My heart is steady. I trust you, Lord. Fourth, a word about your purpose. Some of you have been feeling a stirring in your spirit, a sense that what you are currently doing is not the fullness of what you were created for, a holy restlessness, a sense that there is a calling on your life that has not yet been fully expressed, a gift that has been sitting dormant, a dream that you had to put on a shelf years ago for practical reasons and haven't known how to pick back up. Through this window, I am speaking life back into that dream. It is not dead. It is not outdated. It is not too late. I am the one who gave you that desire, and I do not give gifts I intend to take back. What I placed in you has been maturing in the waiting. The delay was not the cancellation of the dream. It was the incubation of the destiny. And the season of incubation is ending. Type in the comments, I receive everything heaven is releasing for me. My dear son, there is something I want to do right now that is more than a declaration. It is a sealing. I want to seal your household, not because it is in danger of falling apart, though the enemy has certainly been trying, but because a seal from me is not just protection. It is a mark. It is a statement. It is a visible sign in the spiritual world that says, this family is covered, this home is claimed, this future is spoken for, and no power, no principality, no plan of the adversary, no scheme of darkness has the authority to touch what I have sealed. So right now, as these words reach you, I am placing my hand over your home. I see it right now. I see your roof. I see your walls. I see every room where life happens, the kitchen where meals are shared, and sometimes arguments happen and tears get wiped away before anyone else sees them. The bedroom, where you fall asleep with worries and wake up with another chance. The living room where your family gathers. The quiet corner, where you sometimes go to pray when the rest of the house is asleep. I see all of it. I know all of it. And I am sealing all of it with fire, not a destructive fire, a protective fire, the fire of my presence. The fire that surrounded Elisha and his servant when the army of the enemy had them completely encircled. And then the servant's eyes were opened, and he saw that the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire. That fire. The fire that was in the burning bush that never burned out. The fire that went before my people in the wilderness as a pillar by night. That fire is being placed around your home right now. Every entrance to your home, the doors, the windows, the digital spaces, the spiritual atmospheres, is being sealed by that fire. Every pathway by which the enemy has been sneaking into your household. The spirit of division that has been creating unnecessary conflict between you and your spouse. The spirit of rebellion that has been influencing your children, the spirit of addiction that has been knocking on the door of someone you love, the spirit of depression that has been stealing the joy of someone in your home. Every one of those pathways is being closed, sealed, burned shut by my fire. Now let me speak about your children. If you have children, young or grown, I want you to hear me on this. I see every one of your children by name. I know their faces. I know their struggles. I know the one who has been walking away from faith, the one who has been dealing with pressure from peers or culture or circumstances you can only partially see from where you stand. I know the child who seems fine on the surface but is carrying something privately. I know them better than you do, and I love them more than you are capable of. And my love for your children is not passive. I am moving in their lives. What you are not seeing yet is the work I am doing under the surface. I am planting seeds in moments you are not present for. I am sending people across their paths who will say the right thing at the right moment. I am blocking paths that would lead them to destruction, even when it looks to them like an attractive opportunity. I am fighting for your children with the same ferocity that Michael fights with, because they are mine too. And what I have placed on their lives, the enemy does not have permission to steal. Pray for them right now. Just speak their names, right where you are, out loud or in your heart. Lord, seal my children with your fire. Place your angels around them. Bring them back to you if they have wandered. Protect their destiny. Fulfill what you began in them before they were born. Now let me speak about your future. I know that when you try to look ahead, sometimes all you can see is uncertainty. You see the conditions, economic conditions, health conditions, relational conditions, and the future can look murky. The enemy uses that murkiness to plant fear. He wants you to project the worst possible outcome so that you begin to live defensively, pulling back from faith, hoarding instead of giving, hiding instead of stepping forward. But I am not uncertain about your future. I have seen the end of your story from the beginning, and let me tell you what I see. I see you standing on the other side of this hard season with testimony in your mouth and joy in your face that is unmistakably supernatural. I see your children gathered around you in a season of abundance you could not have pictured from the valley you are currently in. I see a version of your financial situation that bears no resemblance to what it looks like today. I see healing where there was sickness. I see wholeness where there was brokenness. I see peace where there was chaos. I see fullness where there was lack. That is what I have written for you, and I do not rewrite what I have written. I do not change my mind about the good I have planned for my children. Say this out loud right now, not as a wish, as a declaration. My home is sealed by the fire of God. My family is under divine protection. My future is written by the Lord, and it is full of good. No weapon formed against my household will prosper. This I declare in the name of Jesus. Let heaven hear your voice. Type in the comments, "My home is sealed by God's fire, my dear daughter." I want to say something to you that I need you to let fully land in your heart before we close. The emergency is over. Not because the circumstances have all visibly changed yet, though change is in motion. The emergency is over because the decision was made in heaven. The order was given. The angels were dispatched. Michael took his position. The window was opened. The seal was placed. The door of your situation is being moved by my hand. The shift has begun. And in the kingdom of heaven, when I declare something done, it is done. The manifestation in the natural is simply heaven catching up to what was already decided in the eternal. The emergency is over, and now comes the overflow. I want you to understand what overflow means. I did not call it a blessing. I did not call it a provision. I called it overflow because that is the specific word I want you to hold on to. Overflow means more than enough. Overflow means the cup is so full it runs over the edges onto the table. Overflow means the blessing exceeds the container. Overflow means that what I am releasing into your life is not going to fit in the small space of just enough. It is going to spill into every area, every corner, every relationship, every dream, every need, every prayer request you have ever brought before me. That is the nature of my abundance. I am not a God of barely making it. I am not a God of just getting by. I am the God who took 5 loaves and 2 fish and fed 5,000 people and still had 12 baskets left over. I am the God who turned water into wine at a wedding where the supply had run out. And not just any wine, the best wine, better than what was served at the beginning. I am the God of more than enough, of pressed down and shaken together and running over, of exceeding abundantly above all you can ask or think, and that God is the one who has been at work in your situation. Let me paint you a picture of what the overflow looks like in your life. I see a morning, not far from now, where you wake up, and the first thought that comes to your mind is gratitude, not anxiety. Where the problem that has been greeting you every morning for months is no longer there. Where the provision has come through in a way that you are still shaking your head about. Where the healing that was prayed over is now a visible reality that doctors are struggling to explain. Where the prodigal who was far away is now sitting at the table with you. Where the dream that you had put on a shelf is now in your hands, being lived, becoming real. I see you on the other side of the overflow, and I want to tell you, the testimony that is being built in your life right now, through every hard thing you have pressed through, is going to reach further than you. Your testimony is going to reach your neighbors. It is going to reach the person at work who stopped believing. It is going to reach the family member who has been watching your life to see if your faith is real. It is going to reach strangers on the internet who will hear your story and find their own faith reignited because of what I did for you. You are not just being blessed, you are being made into a demonstration of my power. I want you to do something as we close this message. I want you to think back to the beginning, to the first moment of this video, the weight you were carrying when you pressed play. Think about the anxiety, the exhaustion, the unnamed dread that was sitting on your chest. Now I want you to notice, is it still exactly the same weight? Something has shifted, hasn't it? Even a small shift. Even a tiny lifting of something that was heavy. That shift is not just emotional, that is the reality of heaven touching your situation. That is the beginning of the overflow, and it does not stop here. Every day from this point forward, I am asking you to choose faith over fear. Every morning when the circumstances haven't fully caught up with the miracle yet, choose to declare my promises out loud. Every time the enemy tries to whisper that nothing has changed, open your mouth and say, "Oh, but something has changed. God moved. The heavens opened. Michael was dispatched. The window was activated. The seal was placed. Jesus stood at my door, and I am living in the overflow." Declare it every single day until you see it with your eyes, because you will. I have spoken it, and I am not a man that I should lie. I am not a human being who makes promises and forgets to keep them. What I have said over your life in this message is not a collection of beautiful words. It is a prophetic declaration that carries the full weight of heaven behind it. Every word I have spoken to you today is alive. Every word is moving. Every word is working in the unseen realm on your behalf. The emergency is over. The overflow has begun. Place your hand over your heart one final time and say this with me. Lord, I receive everything you have spoken over my life today. The emergency is over. The overflow is mine. The miracle is in motion. The blessing is coming. My family is sealed. My future is written. I trust you completely. And I give you all the glory for what you are about to do. In the name of Jesus, amen.